I'd like to welcome Dr. Ruth Bush, who's the Associate Dean of Educational Affairs at the John Seeley School of Medicine, University of Texas Medical Branch in Galveston, Texas. She's also the editor-in-chief for the JVS-VNL and was awarded the Distinguished Fellow status from the SVS and the American Venous Forum. She's the past president of the Vascular and Endovascular Surgical Society and the immediate past president for the American Venous Forum. So congratulations, Dr. Ruth Bush.
Oh, thank you so much, Dr. Hingarani. I appreciate this opportunity.
So can you tell us a little bit about the last 12 months as president of the American Venous Forum?
The last 12 months, sometimes I thought they were going really slow, but then all of a sudden they're over, and the annual meeting, the culmination of everything is over, and you're like, what happened? What happened? I have to say that the last 12 months were truly some of the most spectacular of my career, not because of what I did or we accomplished, but because of the people I got to work with and the people I got to meet, both internal to the AVF functionality, the administrative services with our now Chief Executive Officer, Mr. John Forbes, to our executive committee and the board of directors, working with and hearing people's perspectives and ideas and bouncing off of them. I think, it greatly matured the American Venous Forum, but on a personal level, it helped mature my leadership style and my view and my vision for the American Venous Forum and its members.
So can you talk a little bit about your view and your vision for the AVF going forward?
So over the past 12 months, we have engaged on many levels with both national and international colleagues, whether it is educational webinars, which promote authors as well as their work that they published in the Journal of Vascular Surgery, Venous and Lymphatics. But those international webinars have also promoted people to be moderators and to be discussants of those papers. So we are lifting people up around the world, and those moderators and discussants came from many different backgrounds, as well as the different papers we have chosen. On a national level, the webinars that we give for both key opinion leaders as well as Journal Club promotes devices. It promotes some of our industry partners, and it promotes research as well as the institutions that you work at and your residents. They get an opportunity on a national stage. That is one of the great things. I know people think they're zoomed out, but I think that honestly, this is a great way to have meetings, to be able to do what you need to do in the evening, whether it is making dinner or doing something, at home, and you can listen and learn at the same time. We have supported fellows going to the SVS Leadership Development, or fellows of the American Venous Forum going to the Leadership Development Program of the SVS, so that we can build our own and we can build up the next generation. I was excited to see Dr. Michael Sadek and Dr. Masaki Kaguchi finish that program, and we're looking at names for people for the next cohort as well. And I think that, on that, my vision is that we develop our own programs, and maybe there are some others that we look at, because not everybody's going to learn from the same leadership development program. Other programs may appeal as well, but I'm excited that we got it started and we're moving into our second year. One of the other changes that we did do this past year, as I mentioned, Mr. John Forbes, we moved him from being executive director to a chief executive officer position, which really brings him to a higher level, having the 30,000-foot view, doing the strategic planning, the strategic thinking, the visioning for the organization. And so it also, I think by him becoming chief executive officer, that is an external recognition that the AVF has matured to a new level.
So I want to talk a little bit about the meeting. And also, you had some new initiatives, not only for the organization, which were really pushing the ball forward, but also for the meeting itself. So can you just highlight some of the stuff that you added to the meeting and some of the tried and true stuff that was going on at the meeting also for Venus 2025 in Atlanta?
Sure. First of all, I need to give full credit to Dr. Cassius Char as the program chair. He worked tirelessly developing that program and running the committee. We did again this year the advanced practice professional meeting, which went very well. That was overseen by Dr. Kathleen Osvath, Miss Chris Gareen, and Debbie Williams, both nurse practitioners. But it was very well attended, and it coincided with the physician in training program. So that was similar to last year. Some of the new initiatives this year were a little bit changing around of some of the program, allowing for a little bit shorter discussion so that we could allow more persons to present their work so we could get more of a broad sampling. But we also added in having what we call the Doctor's Lounge. That was a name that Sheila Blumberg suggested on one of the calls. She said, where I learn the most is in between cases in the Doctor's Lounge. So we decided to name it the Doctor's Lounge. So we had both national and international, or US based and non-US based is what I should say, persons moderate those sessions. And then we had key persons who would comment on a case that they would present. So how would you do this? What are some of the challenges? What are some of the variations in treatment that we have around the world? Because different people have different access to devices, and they have different standards of care based on what they have available in their community. But learning from each other was tremendous. Dr. Joe Raffetto did the Sumner session on mentorship, and I heard from someone afterwards, they said, this was the whole reason I came to this meeting. This paid for the meeting to come and learn all of this about mentorship. And they said to me, I wish I had learned this 20, 30 years ago. That was fabulous. Dr. Joanne Lohr, again, one of the tried and true events of the annual meeting is the Strandness Lecture. And Dr. Joanne Lohr was the keynote speaker, and she talked about Venus on the shoulders of giants. And she gave the entire history of the American Venous Forum, and she had found in archives some of the typed letters from the SVS saying, you shall have your own organization. The founding fathers, they were really fathers at that point in time. But she talked about all of the different steps that we have gone through with the AVF. One of the events, it was non-programmatic, that I'm very proud of, is Tom O'Donnell and Alicia Orapallo were leading the venous leg ulcer guidelines updates, and they did a writing group session together. The room was packed. I walked in there and the room was packed. All of the people were there in one location to talk about venous leg ulcer guidelines, the progress, the timeline, and that was tremendous. So I was very proud of that group, very proud. And I'm very proud of the board of directors. Do an amazing, amazing job. And I was happy to hand it over to Dr. Joe Raffetto, who's going to take the research, the guidelines, things to another level.
I think we also need to mention your presidential address, which was really insightful, well done, and well delivered.
Thank you.
So thank you so much. I think that'll also be on the website for people to hear. I think that's actually well worth spending some time listening to it because you really did an amazing job with that.
Thank you.
Um, the gala event went very, very well, very smooth, and the ladies look absolutely fabulous in their dresses. And I would have to also mention the second day of service. That was actually
Yes.
worked out quite well also. Can you just mention a little bit about the day of
Sure.
service and what that's about and how the American Venous Forum launched that?
So this is the second day of service that the AVF has done at their annual meeting. It's the third day of service that the AVF has participated in over the past 13 months. Um, our first began in Tampa. Then we joined the Eastern Vascular Society in Charleston and co-branded. And then this one was our best ever because we've learned and we've improved. This one was in a community in Atlanta in affiliation with Antioch Urban Ministries, a non-governmental organization there. We also partnered with Morehouse School of Medicine, Emory School of Medicine, and Grady Hospital. So there were medical students there. There was a group there to give resources to people. There were students there doing intakes and testing, point of care testing on blood pressure, glucose, HIV, giving free flu shots and COVID vaccines, and we were screening people for venous disease with and fitting them with compression hose. A local family-owned business provided the food, and they were amazing to interact with. And one of the highlights was partnering with the Georgia NFL alumni that are in the Atlanta area. So the Georgia NFL alumni chapter came and sponsored. They were doing surveys on issues related to healthcare. And if you completed the survey, which I believe they completed somewhere between 80 and 100, the 4 NFL alumni, including one who had his Super Bowl ring there, would sign autographed pictures and give you some information and a little baby football. So that was a big treat for all of us.
Was, and I really want to congratulate you for putting all this together because your year as presidency, I think, has been one of the highlights. And I do think you did a great job. The meeting went very well. It was very well attended. Some of the sessions were standing room only, which was great.
Yes.
Seeing that and seeing the enthusiasm and the engagement of the audience, not only in the U.S. but internationally. There were a lot
Oh,
of
yes.
people internationally, a lot of international speakers, new ideas in exchange. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for this opportunity. And we hope to see you next year at Venus 2026 in Denver, Colorado.